You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Thank you, Marshall. Knowing your customer. You know what, regardless of what business that you're in, whether you're providing services, whether you're selling products, serving food, I don't know, selling lemonade on a corner or something, right? You know, going to flea market. You have to know your customer. You know, you have to get an idea who's going to buy your product. Now, one of the things, the big corporations, they pay thousands of dollars to get an idea about the people they're going to sell their stuff to. I mean, you got people who are paid to figure this out. Like sometimes on the internet, I'll see like reports. It'll talk about a certain industry, who buys in it, who's going to buy the product and everything. You know, how much they make and all of that. And I haven't purchased one yet because it's like, shoot, to purchase like one report for me would pretty much empty out my savings. Yeah, I have a good savings, but, you know, I kind of like it. So I was just like, damn, I'm going to have to do it. But, you know, these big companies, they got the money. It's a great investment. They want to know who they selling to, who they targeting in their ads and everything, right? Now, if you're a business starting out, you're going to have to do it the hard way. You know, maybe you can like do some searches on the internet and try to get an idea, but you pretty much going to have to start from scratch, right? You pretty much are going to have to say, okay, what's my product? Who can I sell it to? Right? For example, with my books, Nice Guys and Players and Sexual Chemistry, the men, you get my customer going to be two types of people. One, many women when I'm selling it directly because they're curious about men and they want to get an idea, because when I say, you know, the subtitle Nice Guys and Players become the man women want. A lot of women want to see if I know what I'm talking about. Most women have agreed with me. So women in general will buy it, in all types of women. As far as men, it tends to be the type of men who already have a level of success with women, but they want to take it to a higher level. You know, it tends to be the guys who can get a lot of women, but just not the ones they actually want. That tends to be, it's like the customer base. I thought it would have been the men who had trouble getting women, but they don't hardly buy the book, right? It tends to be them, and it also tends to be men who are success orientated, period. Because you get a lot of people, you get a lot of men and women really, but more so men with my particular book, who are into reading success materials. So anything regarding success, regardless of the field, they'll pick it up. They, you know, if it's someone how to succeed in a restaurant business, they ain't in the restaurant business, they're the type who will buy it. So that's the demographic right there. So whatever product you have, you got to say, all right, who's going to buy this? Say if you're a person, you want to be a vegan chef, right? You want to sell stuff. You can already kind of recognize who's going to buy it. Of course, you can say vegans, right? But then if you're selling stuff and if you're in a position of selling stuff, you still got to be able to identify the best customers. Like, well, food's a bad example. People will buy food, whatever, even if it's not their style, just to try something new if it looks good. So that's not the best of examples. I mean, it's still an example, but let me give a better one. Say you selling a raw vegan cookbook, right? So you're at some festival or some vending festival. You're trying to get an idea who you should try to hard sell and who you should just let walk on by. Now, a lot of hardcore vegans, they have a strong tendency to, insult the hippies, but look like hippies. You know, they tend to, if they're white, they tend to have that more hippie look, or not so much a mainstream look. Might have tattoos or something. Probably won't be as robust looking. And when I say robust looking, I don't mean that they're not looking healthy, but I'm in a nice way trying to say they probably won't be overweight or anything. All right. If they're black, well, they will tend to have a more natural look. Like the women would tend to have a strong tendency to have natural hair, a strong tendency. Though I know a very prominent vegan whose hair is straight, but at the same time she's biracial. So, you're going to look at that. You're going to look at the clothes and everything. One of the things you can do in knowing your customer is just you could actually do it from scratch. It'd take a while, but you just have to build it up in your mind. Or you could write it down. In fact, all right, who bought the product, who didn't? It's just really that simple. Because if you get say you at a vending show again, you selling whatever product, right? A vegan cookbook. You get 25 people who buy it. 75 people who stopped. Well, 100 people stopped at your table. 25 who bought it. What you would do is okay, what did the 25 people who bought the book have in common? And you could even write it down in some notes after they walk away. You could say, just jot it down. What kind of shoes were they wearing? What kind of clothes? What were their hairstyles? If they talked about politics, what kind of politics did they talk about? Did they haggle over it, which means they might not have had money. And they might not have had money, and they might have been more interested in trying to get a price or really thinking about it. When people don't have money, they're going to be picky about their purchases. When they were talking about it, did they go through the book in a slow manner and look at stuff, which indicates that they are strongly interested? Did they just give you money right there, or did they look through it slowly and then ask for some contact information? Because you can get an idea there. And check out their clothes. Check out what they're wearing. Are they wearing expensive shoes or clothes or anything? Assess their social class, right? In fact, I'm gonna do a separate video. My next video is going to be on social class and customers and everything, right? But and talk with them. That's one of the main things you can do to find out your customer base and find out who's going to buy your stuff, is just have a conversation with them. What are they going to talk about? What are they looking for? What are their interests? And, of course, you ain't going to take notes right there. But, when they walk away, if you got a laptop or a notebook, something like that, write it down. If you can, say you get those 25 customers who bought your product, look at it and say, what were they saying in common? Is it about healthy eating? I'll say, okay, that, right? Or they having a concern for animal rights. Write that down. Now, see, here's the thing with that. Using that example again, when you're not vending, say you have a website, you know where to advertise at. You got some places you might be able to get small ads, or, you can get on social media or something like Facebook, find all the groups that maybe will allow advertising, because there's a lot of groups on Facebook that will allow you to advertise a product that's in line with the mission of the group. Find the groups that are talking about healthy eating, or find the groups that are talking about animal rights, or whatever. That's one of the ways, I sell my stuff. On Facebook, I'm in several groups that are dealing with men and women. So, you want to do that. Just pay attention to little things. You can really figure out a lot. And then you can target your stuff. Because I got to the point, if I'm sitting, and I've said this on several videos, if I'm selling my stuff, I can already target who's going to get it. Now, one of the experiments I have to do, I'll be selling my book in the coming weeks at some expos and stuff, my fiction book. Now, that hasn't sold as well yet. It sold a few copies, but it hasn't sold as well yet. But now I'm going to get out there, and now I have to start eyeballing who's going to pick it up. Who would be interested in this type of work. So it's one of the things. You want to know your customer, and you got to just do the field research. Especially until you get to the point where you can hire somebody else to do it. And really on another level, that's what marketers do. They'll figure it out right away. But what I'm telling you is, if you just starting out, this is bare bones guerrilla type of thing. You don't got several $1,000s to give to a marketing company to figure it out for you, or to pay for some report or something. You got to figure it out on the spot. Now, to be successful in business, you want to get to that point where you can pay somebody else to do it. But I'm just telling you in this podcast how to get started doing that. You bare bones and everything. You starting from scratch. You just barely had enough money to get your product developed and get it on there. It's so you got to figure out stuff from scratch. Anyway, right? That's what you have to do, getting to know your customer. Let's go make that money.